Hi, everyone. So welcome to the Avanti Woman's first podcast. The Avanti Woman, it's a platform for women where we empower, connect, and build. I'm Nairy Ghazourian, your host, and I have my lovely friend of 15 years, my sister, my confidant, my best friend, Sara Chitak. Hi, Sara.
Hi, Nairy. Thanks for having me join you.
Good to have you here. I'm so excited. This is our very first podcast, so we're both very excited to embark on this new journey together. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what is the Avanti Woman. But before we do that, I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll allow Sara to talk about herself a little bit, who I am and why the Avanti Woman. What was the germination, the seed? How was it? How did it take birth to give birth for this platform that we've created? So my name is Nairy Ghazourian, and I have to say that ever since I was a little girl, one thing that inspired me the most in life was to help people, to empower them, to serve them. And ever since I was a little girl, I felt like in life we had to have a purpose. Without purpose, life meant nothing for me. So as I grew up, I embarked in a career in public health. And for many years, that's what I did. I worked in various areas in healthcare by serving, by educating, et cetera, et cetera. So in 2012, I was overseas on a humanitarian mission, and I want to actually take a little break here. Sara, remember when I was on that mission, how your daughter, who's 9 now, but she was 9 months old, she was one of our first philanthropists. Remember that?
Oh yeah. It was the first seed. But I thank you, Nairy, because you're a good start and a good introduction to philanthropy to my little girl. And we've done so many that Angelina has participated in since.
That's so true. So when I came back from that humanitarian mission, I had actually to start on a new path and a new career here in the States. And so I kind of took a step back because prior to that, I had a business which I had sold, and my entire idea was to move overseas and to work, and with United Nations doing humanitarian work. When that didn't pan out due to personal reasons with the family, in 2012, when I came back, I kind of took a step back to think about what is it that I want to do with my life. So I started, since my background was healthcare, I started to consult with some physicians and kind of try that out. And then I realized, wow, in order to grow their practices, I can embark on this Medicare career, which, we had all these baby boomers for the next 10, 20 years turning 65 at that time. And so I got onto that path. And while I was serving that population, hundreds and hundreds of baby boomers, and majority of them actually women, I would go and sit with them, educate them about their Medicare options, about their healthcare options. I would talk to their daughters, to their grandkids. And one thing that I saw in common with these women, I saw a gap where they were truly looking for that beam of light, that space that was safe and had integrity, to educate them, to guide them, because they were very confused.
But
go ahead.
I'm going to just step back. I mean, you're absolutely right. I remember it, but I really think it's just who you are, and you recognize and you saw, the gap for so many women. But if you don't mind, I'm going to just kind of step back and just go back to a conversation you and I had, just lounging on my family room couch. We both had our feet up, and you were beaming. You were beaming with this idea, and it was so inspiring, and I was just so excited, and I just wanted to hear all about it and what was this idea of Avanti Woman and how you even came up with the name. Um,
So
I'd love to, take me back to that day because I love
yeah,
that moment. And it was just, like you said, we were just connecting and all these ideas were flourishing.
right.
Yeah,
It's like you know how they say when you have two brains, put two brains together, two minds, and you create a mastermind. And I think that's what we have as women. As women who become very connected and support each other, we create magic with these ideas.
absolutely.
And that's exactly
Absolutely.
what happened on your couch. So you're right, Sarah. It made me realize back to 2012 when I came back and I was trying to figure out what to do. I remember I went on a walk one afternoon and I was thinking and I talking to God, I'm like, what is my purpose? What's my mission? And then as I'm walking, it was in August or December afternoon. It was an afternoon. I had this aha moment. I had my cell phone in my hand.
Hmm.
And in the aha moment, I realized that my mission in life is to build people up, not tear
Yeah,
them down. But
that's right.
I didn't know what that meant and what I was supposed to do. So then when I started in the Medicare career and the consulting, and I met all these women, and I saw that each one of them, no matter what age, they had a gap where they needed knowledge, they needed resources, empowerment, and that was in healthcare. A lot of them, had that in healthcare. They couldn't understand the complexity of the healthcare field. Many of them that I met, they didn't understand money. They were broke. They were
Yeah.
working full-time jobs. And Sarah, this is, your area of expertise in finance. They were broke, and it just broke my heart because, I came from a place where I had to build myself up and learn about money way later on in my life, whereas you have a different,
Well,
story about that, which we can talk about.
well, and that's what I was going to bring up, Nai. I mean, I think what really makes this wonderful is that we all come from different backgrounds. And yours and mine was a similar backgrounds, but different experiences in life. And thinking back, I had a dad who empowered me, and who kept saying there's nothing that should ever stop you from achieving any dream that you have. And he would constantly tell me, you're smarter than anybody, or you're more capable than anybody. And he would reiterate that. And I go back to what you say of empower,
Oh, yes. So,
right?
right. So the motto that the Avanti woman has is empower, connect,
Connect
build.
and build. And
Yeah.
so that's really it. And how amazing for us women, where we can empower each other, we can connect, and then we can build. And one of the things that we hear a lot of women talk about is, oh, I'm surviving, right? And it's like, why do I want to survive? I want to thrive. I want to
Exactly.
fly. I want to
Right.
fly from day one. And I want to see young girls where they don't even question anything, right?
Yes.
But this is all your dream, Nighty. And what was take me back, because there were so many conversations we had. We'd have these long conversations, then we'd have these 5-10 minute conversations
Yeah.
with these moments of you know wonderful ideas that you had.
So I'll go back to so that day when I knew that my mission in life was to build people up and not tear them down. Again, going back to that, I still didn't know exactly how I was going to do that. What was it? So when I met these women, that's when I knew. That's when I knew that my mission was to build up women and not tear them down. And what areas do we focus on? I knew that there was a major um, area of need in healthcare,
Mhm.
whether that's access to healthcare, understanding, wellness, understanding how to get health insurance. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a plethora of information and details in that umbrella under that umbrella alone. The next was by seeing these women, whether they were in their 20s, 30s, or, over 50, when they're getting divorced, all their life they knew that their man was taking care of things, and all of a sudden now they were alone and they had no idea about how to manage their finances. Right. So I knew that was the second umbrella to focus under, which was finance. Then the third is entrepreneurship, because, and again, Sara, this is like a huge area of, it moves both of us. And under entrepreneurship, you have all these women who maybe they've been divorced, or maybe they just don't have that guiding light to guide them on how to start their own gig on the side while they're working, or maybe they don't have a job and you want to push them and inspire them, you can do this. Yeah. And that kind of came to me, that umbrella, when I started my Medicare business. It's called Avanti Insurance Solutions. My goal, I remember I was on a vacation in 2017 by myself to go and just relax and clear my mind. And I had started an agency, and I told myself, I want to focus on building women to have their own businesses and provide, services in healthcare and Medicare to their communities. And by doing so, I saw, wow, how impactful that was. It was so impactful to see this women all of a sudden start their businesses. And, I have one person that I've known for, maybe 15 years now. She was in her early 20s. Now she's in her mid 30s. And she's created a life for herself and her family from nothing. Amazing. And it made me feel like, wow, look at this. Look at her. From nothing, she's created this. So I saw the power of entrepreneurship and how it can impact families and lives, not just women. It really, like, when you empower women, you empower society, right? That's right. That's exactly. Right. So that was the third. And finally,
and you know what they say? There were so many studies. There was even one done by the Pentagon. I'd have to go back and find the exact name, where, changes that they want to make around the world, you actually start with a female.
Absolutely.
And that's how the change happens.
Absolutely.
Is making that change with the women in any culture, any background, and then the change happens.
Amen.
Yeah.
And so, and finally, the fourth, element is philanthropy. And, women are the leaders in the world of philanthropy, giving, sharing, leaving a legacy outside of ourselves. And when we start serving others, it creates an energy shift. Mm-hmm. So when you serve, all of a sudden your energy shifts. And, by connecting women with philanthropic organizations to exercise and practice the universal law of in giving is when we receive, that really actually, that practice naturally creates an abundance mindset, and it helps women achieve success in other areas of their personal business and lives. It's proven.
Well, and satisfaction in life. I mean, if you think back, Nairy, to all the philanthropy work that you've done, and why I even wanted my young daughter to learn to give back. What does that do? Like, I mean, what does it do for you when you give back? What is that?
Oh my God. Honestly, it's a joy. Sometimes I think about that. I'm like, is this a selfish thing? Because the joy you get from giving is
absolutely
unparalleled, honestly. It moves me. It moves my entire genetic makeup. You've seen me, like we both.
Are you kidding? You're flying. I mean, you're so excited. Your eyes sparkle, and when you see someone benefiting from what you do, I mean, your first Christmas kindness project.
I wanted to talk about that. It's funny you brought that up because when this, again, going back how this started, when finally I decided, okay, it's to empower women, right? We
Yeah.
identified the subject matter, but then I thought, okay, how do I start this? See,
Right.
we can never wait for perfection to start something. At
Absolutely.
the time when the idea germinated was 2015, like late 2015. But then, so much was happening. I had a company to build. I had more than full-time work. There were things happening in our personal lives. I lost my father. I mean, there was so much. But I think the key is you can never let that seed that's inside you go to sleep or
That's
die.
right.
So that's where, Sara, you came in. And that's where, those late nights on the couch with a cup of tea and talking and dreaming and visualizing, right? Imagination is genius, says Einstein.
Absolutely.
And that is so true.
And that's the seed. The
That's the
imagination,
seed. So
that is the seed. And then, I mean, basically it bloomed because you fed it, you watered it, and you took care of it. And here you are. Nairy, I'm really very proud of you. I really
thank
am.
you.
And
Thank
I
you.
mean that from the bottom of my heart because, and I've told you to watch you transform and to, not that there was anything wrong with you. I just want to make sure, I love you as the moment I met you, and to watch you, the way you've grown is amazing. I've shared this
Seriously,
with
people,
you.
like, I have to say it was love at first sight. When we met, it was at a Constellation Network with like a business
Yeah.
networking event. And we just looked at each other and that's it.
Connected.
And that moment,
Soul sisters.
January 29,
Yeah.
2004, that was it. We've
Don't
been
go too far. It was some time ago. But we were soul sisters from the moment. But I think what really stands out for me is I saw your growth. I watched your growth. And, what you're saying of healthcare, business, entrepreneurship, as many difficult days that you had, you continue to go up. It's like that graph on a chart, or think of like the Dow Jones or something. There's dips and whatever, but it continued to go up. It continued to go up. And that's what you want to share, I think, with people. And
the endurance, the perseverance, you can never give up. You have to believe
never
in your
give up.
vision.
But it really goes back to, what you say of empower, connect, and build. Because I think you lived that, Nairy.
Yeah.
I actually think you lived that. It's not just words. It's really the way you lived it and the way you grew in every way. In every way. And that's what you want to give back to all these other women and say, you can do it. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for reminding me that, Sara. I appreciate it. So yes, you talked about the Christmas Kindness Project, just going back to say that there is no perfect moment to have everything perfect and to launch something. No. So, you have to just have to start. You have to start, and then the next step will be shown to you along the way. And so I remember in 2019, that's when actually we did our first Christmas Kindness Project. No, I'm sorry, December 2018 is when we launched our first Christmas Kindness Project. And because, just to share with you guys, under Philanthropy, with the Avanti Woman, we have one goal that every year we will have a Christmas Kindness Project that we will have our women embark on. And that could be anything. In 2018, I was trying to find something, a woman that needed, our support. And then all of a sudden I bumped into this GoFundMe campaign. It was this lovely lady who was quadriplegic, and she needed an electric bed. She needed an electric chair. Because she could not actually live a quality life because she could not transport herself. Right. And so we just hopped on We actually collaborated with the nonprofit that she worked with as a patient. She was their client. Yeah. And then we raised the funds in 3 weeks. All these women from the East Coast, West Coast, everywhere came together. We raised the fund quickly, and we got her that.
Yeah.
And, your daughter, Angelina, my niece, Sara, were all part of it. And, these kids growing up, they saw how beautiful it was to be part of such a philanthropy, and how Susan, remember when they met Susan? She was in tears. And these young girls were just so inspired of the difference they were able to make.
Well, and that, that was exactly it. That's what was going through my mind, Nairy, is when young girls, I think as adults, we can really appreciate it. You understand it, right? But as a young girl, when they're part of a philanthropic, oh my goodness, philanthropic, you know what I'm trying to say, philanthropic fundraising, and they see the emotion of how it changes someone's life, and they're visually seeing that, it's a lot more impactful.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have to also bring our Christmas Kindness Project from this year, which, we helped all these families that were impacted with the war. They were refugees, they were widows and orphan children who lost their dads, and their families relocated. And we were able to raise $12,500. And, I was so proud of Angelina, your daughter, who actually donated $500 by making bracelets and selling them.
Yeah.
And this goes a long way for these kids. These girls are growing up to be amazing women, and that seed is being, planted in them such early on. And again, thanks to parents like you.
Well, thank you. But I think, I really think any female at any point in their life can really be empowered. They can be a young girl. They could be a young adult. They can be a woman later on in life. And I think one of the key, I was thinking about that, because you and I always have so many ideas, and then we go, there's like ideas flourishing and jumping out of our heads. And then it's like, no, you're never too old, and it's never too late to do something. And if that seed is planted in your heart, why not?
Yeah.
And just, go for it. There is nothing, absolutely nothing stopping us. Really.
Amen.
And, we all have challenges in life, and we have ups and downs. And I think a little bump in the road is okay, as long as that little fire is still there, and you go, okay, let me go back to that idea I had last year. I had to stop for a while because something was happening, but let me go back. And I think what you're doing to bring it back, I really think that empower, the connect,
and to build,
and then to build is really is the key.
And so I wanted to kind of actually magnify that: empower, connect, build. And how do we do that? Right. So we have, the Avanti Woman has a platform, and with that empowering, how do you empower? You empower with education and knowledge. Okay. So education is equal to empowerment. So we offer training tools, podcasts, events, and resources to help you gain the knowledge. So the more knowledge you have, the more empowered you are.
Absolutely.
Then the next thing is connect. How do we connect? We are connecting you to the right resources, to other women, to, coaches, to experts in the field. So when you have that personal connection, to be able to personally connect with them. Right. So you get the empowerment tools, and then you're connecting. Ultimately, what we're doing is we're building women up, right? The end goal. And that's the aim. Through empowerment and connection, we help you, we build you to get the results that you're looking for in whatever area of your life within those 4 elements that we talked about. Right. So our goal at the Avanti Woman is by 2030, we want to empower, connect, and build 10 million women to thrive and succeed.
It will be done.
Areas. I'm sorry?
It will be done.
It will be done, it will be done. But I wanted to say something very important because this was instrumental actually in my journey. I remember a few years back, and today is March 1st, guys, like this, ladies. It's March 1st. It's Women's History Month. And March 8th is International Women's Day, right? It's all about empowerment. This year, actually, the message for Women's International Day is choose to challenge, hashtag.
Oh, I like that.
Right? So we need to choose to challenge each other to really face our fears in whatever areas of life that may be. And that's where women need to come together and push each other and choose to challenge each other in those fields. So a few years back, I was reading United Nations definition of empowerment for women, and it really, really moved me. So I want to read this actually.
Oh, I want to hear it.
So it says, United Nations defines women empowerment as a woman's sense of self-worth, their right to have and to determine choices, their right to have access to opportunities and resources, their right to have the power to control their own lives, both within and outside the home, and their ability to influence the decision of social change to create a more just social and economic order nationally and internationally. And I have chills head to toe. Wow, wow, wow. How amazing is this?
Nairy, it is amazing. I actually need to slow down and parse this, honestly, because it's so impactful. And while you were reading that, my mind was racing. And then at the same time, connecting it to empower, connect, build.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to just reread that, I go, oh, that's empower. Oh, that part is build. And that one is connect. And then it actually, in my head, I don't know if with all the conversations that you and I have had, it's everything we spoke about, right? It's everything we spoke about. And it could be done through the empowerment, could be done through the connections and all of that. Yeah.
And honestly, even research shows you empower women, you make global change, you bring peace. We are peaceful beings.
Right.
Okay?
Well, we're nurturing in nature.
Yeah, we are nurturing creatures. That's how God made us. Right. So you bring peace and you bring social change, economic change on every platform. But the common denominator is women. Women need to empower and support each other.
Absolutely.
Build each other up. I always tell my associates who are women, bloom where you're planted. Don't go trying to, snatch business from another woman. There's plenty for everybody. Help each other. When you help each other, you reach levels that you could never imagine you could have.
Yeah.
Alone. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So, with that said, I'm very excited, that, our first podcast for the Avanti Woman, and I think the sky's the limit for us, what we can do together. I'm excited for our next podcast. All of us, you, me,
all
our
the
friends,
women we know.
Ani, and all of us. There's so much to be done, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, the beginning.
And the strength that comes from that.
Oh my goodness!
I'm so excited.
I'm actually full of energy right now. I feel like I can go and run 5 miles without even,
I'll meet you at our usual place. Let's go.
Absolutely. So, well, thank you, Sara, for joining me. And
of course, anytime.
I look forward to our next one. And again, thank you everybody for listening to our first podcast, The Avanti Woman, a platform for women where we empower, connect, and build. And please visit us at theavantiwoman.com, our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts at The Avanti Woman. Thank you and good day to everyone. See you soon.
Good day.